Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the regular meeting dated on October 27, 2025. This is a regular meeting of the Mayor and Council. Notice was given as follows. Notice was filed January 9th with the record in the North Star Ledger, both official newspapers of the borough. Notice was posted on the bulletin board at the Borough Hall and Borough website. Copy is preserved in the clerk's office. A pledge of allegiance and moment of silence brought to you by Council Wan Yu.
United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Borough Clerk, would you do the roll call?
Mayor Kim,
Here.
Council Kim, Council Lee,
Here.
Council Min,
Here.
Council Shin,
Here.
Council Beatry,
Here.
Council Wanya, here, Borough Attorney,
Here.
Borough Administrator, here.
All right, great. Before we go to the adoption of minutes, I would like to recognize a very important presence in our meeting today. It's our New Jersey State Senator Gordon Johnson. Please stand up and be recognized, sir. Senator, I believe that you came here to provide us with some good news.
Actually,
Would you
yes.
like to please come up to the
Actually,
podium?
yes. Oh, over here.
Thank you. And this is a request of the Palisades Park Borough for over 30 years. So this is really good. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I don't feel like I'm on the spot here, too much. But thank you, Mayor Kim, and to the council, and to the people of Palisades Park. I'm here today to talk about this issue with the crosswalks in Palisades Park that has been an issue here in this borough for, you said 30 years. But I've only been in office for about 20. So I received a call from the borough administrator, Roberta, and because of this call, my office has been in touch with DOT. We're going back and forth with emails to them. And the email I received today,
Fresh off the press.
well, don't get too excited.
I am very excited.
Okay.
Can't help myself.
But regarding the below maintenance work orders, this is out of DOT. We've issued the following intersections in Palisades Park for the county of Bergen County. Route 93 and Grand Avenue and Edsel Boulevard, Route 93 and Brinkerhoff, Route 93 and Henry, and Route 93 and Palisades Boulevard. And they're telling me that the engineering has to comply with the ADA, these crosswalks. I thought crosswalks is two parallel lines, and you put them across the corner and be it. No more. It takes a lot of engineering to do it now. But they're saying that these projects will be completed by the spring of 2026. And that's because of the winter weather coming in, so they don't want to push it up too far because of, you know.
Of course.
So that's the email I have from DOT.
So again, our New Jersey State Senator Gordon Johnson, with the request and the positive push from our borough administrator, Ms. Stern, they both agreed, and the senator pushed this project to be expedited. So finally, after 30 years, over 30 years, after many mayors of being here, sitting down and requesting to the state that we need sidewalks, crosswalks in Grand Avenue because it's very dangerous, was never answered until now, until today. So we are gonna get, I believe, four new crosswalks with handicap ADA, with the ramp, with the safety lights, all the trimmings. So again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Round of applause.
And let me say to the people of Palo Park, any issues or complaints or concerns, please call my office. Be glad to try to help. And to the mayor and council, also to this administration, be glad that we're here for you.
Thank
Okay,
you,
so
thank you.
Ellen Sharma and I are here to represent you and help you in any way we can.
Thank you.
Okay?
Again, Senator Gordon Johnson.
Okay, let's do it. If you keep applauding, I'll stay here.
You're the best. Thank you. Yeah, later, yeah. All right. That was some good, fresh news. Borough Clerk, let's move to our adoption of minutes.
Adoption of a mini work session of the Mayor Council, September 15, 2025, and the regular meeting of the Mayor Council, September 29, 2025.
Great. Council members, any questions or concerns about the adoption of minutes before we pass? All right. May I have a motion to pass the adoption of minutes?
I make a motion.
Thank you. From Shin, may I have a second?
Second.
Second, Min. Roll call. Thank you.
Council Kim?
Yes.
Council Lee?
Yes.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Shin?
Yes.
Council Petrie?
Yes.
Council Wanya?
Yes.
Great. Let's move forward with our introduction of ordinance.
Introduction of ordinance 2025-27, an ordinance amending chapter 300 of the Code of the Borough of Palisades by entitled zoning to modify Article 5 entitled sign to require illumination of a residential address plate and creating more uniformity for non-residential signage.
Great. Council members, any questions or concerns until we pass this introduction ordinance for visible signs for new residents?
I have a comment. I think this sign is more like personal preference for the residents' address. I mean, I can certainly understand non-residents, but for residents, I mean, this is my choice. Why borough wants to, regulate this sign?
Yes, I'll explain it to you again. It's for safety reasons. People at night, it's very difficult to find signs that, the street name, street numbers. And also, the new ones, if you saw the new duplexes, they put it in there because they know that it's dangerous. They know it's hard to find at night. And also, when people are looking for addresses, and there's a lot of them these days, not just your friends and families. We're talking about Uber Eats. There's a lot of at-home services, especially during COVID. I think it's a very good idea to request this not for old homes, but for they're all grandfathered, not the old homes, but the new homes. We should ask them to do that.
But, one of the purpose of an ordinance is protect
We
the
are protecting.
residents' rights, rather than, regulate them, for
Well,
others.
it's not about rights, it's our rights. I want you to understand that. The reason doing this in the ordinance, because by law, it is our right to make this law. It's not, yeah, absolutely. If we wouldn't be here as an ordinance, if our borough attorney said we are not allowed to do that, it will infringe the rights of the residents. It's our duty to make these kind of decisions. You can say no, it's perfectly fine. You asked that question, and I give you the answer again. Any more questions? Yes.
So this ordinance is for the newer or the future bill?
Yes.
To put a.
Go ahead.
Eliminate signage.
Yeah, no, it applies to all new construction, but it also applies anyone that comes in for a CO or a continued CO, right? Will have to comply with this ordinance once it's passed and effective.
Okay, so the continuous CO will be one for the residential rental tenants too. Because they're required to receive CO.
No,
I don't believe
I think it's
I
construction
don't believe a
wise.
new tenant requires you to get a CCO. I do not believe that. I believe a CCO would be if you either do construction or if you sell your house,
Go.
so.
Well,
Well, a CCO continuing
Right,
certificate of occupancy
right.
is when there is a change in tenants or something.
CCO,
CCO, but
CO.
a CO is only for new construction. So it would not, as far as I know, and I think
I
the
agree.
construction official would
I
agree
agree.
with me, it is not for, because the tenant doesn't own the property, they're renting. It would only be for new owners. So if there's a new owner and they didn't do any work, but they still get the continued certificate of occupancy because they're the new owner of the property, they in fact would do it, but not a tenant.
So my question is, this is for the future bill, right? Or if the landlord wants to actually,
Build a new duplex.
yeah, or whatever they wanna do, right? but this is for the safety purposes, right? To brighten up the numbers, the house numbers to easily, see, right? So is there any way we could add current buildings? Cause this is gonna take a while to, get this ordinance.
What do you mean current buildings, council?
Not the newer buildings.
We're not talking
This-
about the
this-
newer buildings.
No, this applies, if you look at, section, excuse me.
Remember, the only thing
Now,
that's already the ordinance
under-
is long, but without the underline, it's already existing.
Yeah,
The underline is the one that's been modified. I
If you
mean,
look at section 300-34, subparagraph L, this applies to not only certificates of occupancy, but continued certificates of occupancy. It also includes any tenant certificate, anything like that. So anytime that a homeowner comes before, to the building department with an application for a CO or a CCO, then they would be required to comply with the ordinance. So it does apply to existing buildings when they affect some type of a change that would warrant the issuance of a CCO or a CO.
Because the reason why I'm asking is, I would like to see all houses light up on their numbers in very, short, tiny time, like, very soon.
This is the best you can do without requiring your current, it'd be very difficult to require all your current homeowners to come in, apply, and do this within a certain amount of time. I don't think it's realistic, nor do I believe that would be appropriate.
I think it was considered, but the practicality of that really didn't make sense.
So it's more of a phased-in approach, but ultimately, all buildings at some point will be compliant.
Sell, buy, sold, same thing, right?
So new tenant, new construction coming in for a permit and maybe a CCO or CO afterwards, a sale of a house, these are
I have
things
a
that will
question.
trigger compliance.
I have a question. So I thought this is for rebuilding, demolition, new homes, and houses that require a CO because of a construction, but CCO as in like any tenant who are gonna be switched over, that's like 2 years, 2 to 4 years gap before they're gonna say, okay, we're gonna say, before you put in your new tenant, you're gonna have to put in lighted numbers.
That will be one of the requirements, yeah. If they're coming in for a CCO, one of the requirements that they'll need to comply with is the sign requirement. They will have to have an address plate that's illuminated.
CCO for rentals.
CCO.
See, I think that the construction official meant something else.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's actually a big difference.
Okay.
So-
I mean, the way I read it and what I thought was intended is not for CCO for tenant change.
Is there any more other things that the council members want to address before we put this in the back burner? Okay, because, yeah, go ahead.
Could you repeat what you said?
Yeah, what I said was, this conversation led to the fact that we need clarifications what the CCO and the CO does, right? So is there any other more questions about this? Cause I'd rather get this done, while we have the chance instead of, working on our problems on the regular session. This should be done after the work session again. But we're stuck here, again, at a regular session, debating, that should have been either a yes or a no. Now, I'm asking you guys, is there any more concerns before I strike this out? I'm gonna take this out. Was there any more I could?
Right, no, you can, but my suggestion would be to get a feel for the council, whether they would want it to apply to CCOs, or they would want an exception where it doesn't apply to new tenants.
Oh, okay, so
That-
instead of
that's-
talking to the building department, we could decide on our own.
Because
So,
if it
okay.
needs to be modified, we can modify it,
Right
reintroduce
now?
next month, or if the
Can
council
we change
feels.
it right now?
No,
We can, right? If it's gotta be modified, no matter what, right now it seems like when there's a CCO or a CO, you're gonna have to get lighted.
well, this is the first read, so yeah, you could, we could.
Oh, I see.
Right, this is the
Okay.
first read,
Okay,
so, but the question is, if we're going to, before we make any changes to it, is the council does the council wanna change it from CO and have a limited
You
carve
want
out
their
for-
opinion before we move forward, even though we're gonna strike this out, I got it.
Well, we may not need to strike it out, depends on how they.
Cause it said, okay, I got it, I got
You
it.
can revise it either way, right?
So Councilmember, this is a very good question. I wanted to take this out because my intentions were for people, for houses that need a CO for what's being called for construction, a new home, right? But I never thought CCO would be involved here. CCO is actually rentals, and there's a lot of rental turnarounds. So it might be a little bit of a burden for the residents. So,
It will be.
okay, so I agree with Jason Kim. Who else agrees with Jason Kim that it should be only CO, not CCO?
Only CO.
The CCO is, okay, let me tell you, okay, CCO is for the tenant change, right?
Mhm.
So, even in the work session, I asked, is this for the new construction only, okay? And mayor
I said
confirmed,
yes.
yes, it
Yeah.
is. But the CCO is not for the new construction,
No, it's
even
not.
the existing the residential houses, okay, when you change the tenants, the CCO should be issued, but it shows like after like January 1st of next year, no CCO will be issued without change the putting.
I agree
this-
I agree with Jason Kim, I agree with you, I agree with Sec Lee. Well,
Should we get an opinion from the building or code?
oh, no, that's fine, no, that's fine. We're
Before
gonna,
we even make a vote?
no, we're not doing a vote, I'm asking for an opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
This is not gonna go through, I decided it's not gonna go through this month, it's gonna have to go next month.
Yeah.
It's a
but
good
I
idea.
have the building department.
How do you feel? Right, I got you. How do you feel about that? We all agree right now, 1, 2, 3 council members, excluding me, because I don't get to vote, is that, you know what, it's a good idea, but we should only implement it for COs, not CCOs, or only for rentals.
I'd like to just speak to the
So you don't
building
wanna,
department, see what he says.
okay, good. How about you, Christine, when you?
I mean, you know, if you said this is all safety, all those, unless all of our town has the same way to eliminate the address, that's not gonna be happening, right?
It will slowly but surely happen, that's how everything works, I grandfathered in. That wasn't the question that I asked, but it's, again, you stated your comment that you did before. Kurt, Council President, how do you feel? You agree?
Yeah, let's postpone it for next meeting.
But then you agreed that you rather not do CCO, it's more like CO.
Well, the purpose of this ordinance is for the
Safety.
safety, right? So if this purpose is for the safety, I'd like to get it done like as soon as possible for everybody, for every residential building, right? Cause that's just gonna, cover the liability of them, trying to deliver stuff or whatever in the night, right? So, if I could include the tenant portion too, right? That's why I was asking if we could actually put any, wordings saying that, the current, not the new buildings, the old buildings, is there any way we could actually add them to, eliminate their?
That would be the CO. CO is when you do the renovations. Like
Right.
anything beyond breaking, shelves or attachments or fixtures. If you do plumbing, you need a CO. You need electrical, you need a CO. So
So-
that's when they'll say, okay, I
Right.
have to do this together.
And if it's only gonna be, new buildings,
And
renovation or CO,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna take a while to, illuminate all these buildings in Palisades Park to light it up. So that was my only,
So you like CCO?
I like
Oh,
CCO,
okay.
so.
All right, now everybody knows what the situation is. Let's bring this to the next month. In the meantime, Scott, I want you to verify with the building, Tom, and define what he meant. And we're considering right now, these are the options, and we need a recommendation of it,
Okay,
okay?
Yep.
But then we need to understand what CO is and what CCO is at the end
Got it.
as well.
we'll do that.
Thank you. So we're gonna strike this out from our introduction of ordinance, is that okay? Good, all right, we'll strike this out. So we have no more introduction ordinance for November. Please go ahead with the second reading.
Second reading of ordinance 2025-26, establishing of the Affordable Housing District 1, called AHD-1, and the regulating development requirement for block 617, lots 21, 22, and 23.
Scott?
Yeah, if the council recalls, this was the ordinance, an amendment to an ordinance that was passed by this council late last year, as a result of the, affordable housing, one of the settlement agreements with one of the property owners, part of their plan required a 3.67 foot setback from the front yard. And due to, the ordinance was drawn up by our planner, and no one noticed that the minimum front yard setback in the prior ordinance was 10 feet, not 3.67. So this ordinance, to comply with our obligations under the settlement agreement, and since this was what was originally intended and was the plan, we're modifying the ordinance from a 10-foot setback to a 3.67-foot setback. I do believe that this developer, just for notation, is before the planning board.
No, it already passed.
It
It already passed, but we grilled him. We actually, you know, he cooperated, that's all I can say.
So has the decision been rendered?
Yeah, it passed.
Oh, it passed?
Yeah, because I'm part of the planning
So
board.
we don't, all right, well, we can pass this either way, it doesn't matter, but if they went forward with the variance, so they don't even need this.
Exactly, but then it's okay, you know.
Either way.
Yeah, either way, it's okay. The planning board really made some, bullets, you know, those poles
The
that.
bollards, yeah.
The bollards, because it was too close, 3.67 to the sidewalk is too close, and it's very close to the entry of the garage door, and the, Concord, the planner suggested that, and they complied. They're cooperative.
Okay, so this may be moved, but I would still ask the council to consider it, just
Just to be sure.
for housekeeping, just so it doesn't look like there's anything, that we're not carrying out our responsibility under the settlement agreement, and for no other reason for that.
Mr. Crumble, so is this consistent with what was passed at the planning board?
Yes, yes, 3.67, that's what the mayor was just saying, that was the application they came with, was 3.67, and I believe the mayor just said they had them, because it's a smaller setback than the 10-foot, which is what we would normally require, the planning board had them put bollards
And also,
on the front of the property as a
also
safety.
visible lights that tell you that the car's coming out of the garage. Yeah, and also we requested trees and floodlights with trees next to the sidewalk, so if the car goes by, it'll still protect it with the trees. So they decided to put in a total of 5 trees. They were cooperative. I mean, we did as much as we can considering what we could do. Right? So, without further ado, with the recommendation of, well, actually, any more questions? All right, good. May I close and open to the public? Thank you. Motion by Kim, may I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Lee, all in favor? Aye. Ladies and gentlemen, you have 3 minutes to talk about ordinance 2025-26. Yes, please come up. Name and address, sir.
Ernst Beerley, 329 East Columbia. I attended quite a few meetings pertaining to this subject, and it used to be, I think, 6 or 7 floors and 70 units, I think it was, and it got knocked down. Why all of a sudden it's an okay thing again? I'm pretty sure it was knocked down, because I also attend the other meeting, like this past week also, I attended to it. And I'm kind of confused.
So
That
this,
all the people that came to say it's no good, and it was knocked down. Why is it okay
It wasn't
now?
knocked
yeah, so
down.
let
It was
me,
just, go
there
ahead.
were two lawsuits. This landowner, they brought two separate, they joined the builder remedy case, which is why they're building what they're building. Okay, that's the long story short, is they went through that avenue and were able to obtain the relief they got from the court. And it was subject to some negotiations, but the borough had very little leverage in those negotiations, unfortunately. And then they also filed another lawsuit against the zoning board to try to overturn, but that was withdrawn once they got what they wanted with the builder remedy.
I understand we do need affordable housing, there's no 2 ways about it, but I still don't like the idea because of the neighbors. It's really going to affect
Our
them.
hands
That's
are tied.
terrible.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, our hands are tied. They used the law against us. We didn't comply with the law. But the thing is, I think they started out with what, 70-something, and ended up with 40-something units. units,
We
right?
cut it down, we did cut it down. a little bit.
Yeah, I know it's less, yeah, it's a lot less. Okay.
But it won't happen again on the fourth round, that's what we're trying to do, prevent the future, fix the past.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Great. We have a motion to close and open back to the regular session. Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Sang Lee, all in favor? Aye. Great. Council members, may I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-26, the modification from 10 feet to 3.67 feet from the right side of the property line? May I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Council Lee. May I have a second?
Yeah, I see.
Thank you, Council Shin. Roll call.
Council Kim?
Yes.
Council Lee?
Yes.
Council Min?
No.
Council Shin?
Yes.
Council Victory?
No.
Council Won Young?
No,
So 3 and 3, it's like,
Who's
the
the
mayor
noes?
has to be tiebreak.
Who's a no?
We had, Councilman
Three.
Min,
Min?
Councilman, I'm sorry, what, go ahead.
Council Min, Council Victory, Council Won Young says no.
Could you please explain to the people and to the council members why it is dangerous to say no to judge deemed mandates from the court? Please explain.
Okay, this instance is a tad bit different from some of the other builder remedy actions that the council's taken, simply because the planning board application by the applicant, by the builder remedy plaintiff has already concluded and they received their approvals from the board. So this is somewhat of a moot ordinance, but the bottom line is that everything this board does with regard to affordable housing is now being viewed under a microscope by a judge that is not very friendly with the borough from past inactions. And so voting this ordinance down or not approving the ordinance, even though it's ministerial in nature, can send reverberations through the builder remedy that could potentially impact, if nothing else, the judge's opinion moving forward for anything that may come up in that lawsuit, which really can't get into the details of. But let me just say that it's somewhat risky to the residents of this borough to not be strictly complying with our settlement agreement and court orders. So I think that pretty much sums it up, Mayor.
If this doesn't pass, I assume that council members could be subpoenaed under court as well.
Judge could order them in, which would be more forceful than a subpoena.
Because we're not following the law, we're not following the judgment, we're not following the settlement that we're trying to create and finalize, so future builder remedies may not happen. So we could get our rights back, so we could have our own destiny and our own ability to decide for the next fourth round how we're gonna make sure that overdevelopment doesn't happen.
Correct. The judge will see, based upon the record, who either abstained or voted against any particular resolution or ordinance relating to the builder remedy, and the judge has the ability to call that person, those people, the entire council for that matter, into her chambers, into her courtroom, and question as to the reasons for doing X, Y, or Z. She has that authority. Whether she will do that, I have no idea.
What happens if it doesn't pass right now?
What happens, like I said, the application before the planning board by DRC has already been approved. So, right, you said it was approved.
It was approved, but the thing is, it was approved because knowingly that we're about to pass this.
Well, they were seeking a variance. I don't know what was approved and how. I thought they went for a variance. That
Yeah, they went through the variance and it got
They got,
approved.
the variance, they went through the various levels of proof and they received the
Because
variance.
the planning board understands that we
So
have to
it's
get this
still,
approved.
it's still within the 45-day appeal period. So if it were to be, appealed, objected to by some third party, and potentially overturned, and without this ordinance, we'd have to go back to the drawing board and pass the ordinance in the future. It seems like a waste of time, but, we would have to do that if in fact the decision of the board was somehow overturned in the courts. But for right now, it was approved, it still hasn't become final because it hasn't passed the 45-day appeal period. But they got their variance, and the variance was this ordinance was so that they could go as of right before the board without needing a variance. But they asked for a variance, they got the variance, they have the 3.67 setback, so this ordinance is not critical, it's administrative, is what I'm trying to say.
What happens
So if
if-
it doesn't pass, it doesn't really affect much, if anything, in terms of DRC's plans with that property.
I just don't understand why the council members, the three council members here are reluctantly saying no to court mandates and putting us in a pickle. I do not understand why they would wanna logically try to put us in harm's way. I really don't. Is it political? I don't know. I just don't understand why they will say no to this. It just doesn't make sense, cause we have no choice but to say yes to our settlements. Having said that, Councilor, you said that this becomes moot, so I don't really have to vote on this. I'm gonna recuse or which one's would be better? Which one would be better? Abstain or recuse?
Well, recuse, you have to have a reason for recusing.
I'm gonna
There has to be
abstain.
some conflict.
I'm gonna have
An
abstain.
abstention?
I'm gonna abstain.
From a tie vote?
Sure.
So then it would not pass because it's 3-3.
Yeah.
You said this is moot.
For purposes of DRC's present application, it will be moved if no one appeals the decision. The decision becomes final in like 40
Mr.
more
Kravitz,
days
Could DRC make changes
to,
to their plan and get more out of their plan because this is not approved? Can they change their application within that 45-day period?
no. No, they'd have to go back before the planning
Before.
board to make changes. Yeah,
Right.
and it would have to be something that was part of the agreed plan
Right.
that we agreed to, so really, like I said, this is an administrative thing, it's to just, if for no other reason, just to show the court that we're doing what we said we were gonna do in our settlement agreement. But the bottom line is, like the mayor, it does not, at the present time, and the appeal period still hasn't run, meaning that someone can still appeal the decision and we can be back to the planning board on it. But for right now, they are approved and no one has appealed, so it is, right now, it's moot.
I just don't understand why three council members are saying no to this. And try to put the governing body, the administration, also the community and the residents in harm. I hope everybody understands what we're trying to do right now, right? Just because I'm doing a split vote doesn't mean I like developments. I don't like developments, but I know the facts, I know logic. The three people are not acting, the three council members are not acting towards logic. It's gotta be something else. I surely don't approve what they're doing. And you know what? Even though it's dirty, I will have to say yes, because I know it's the right thing to do. So I'll say yes. So disappointed, very disappointed.
Ordinance 2025-26, establishing of the Affordable Housing District 1, AHD-1, and the regulating development requirements for Block 617, lots 21, 22, and then 23, approval for the final adoption by the Mayor Council of the Borough of Palisades Park at a regular meeting held on October 27, 2025. A copy of the ordinance will be posted on the bulletin board in the Borough Hall and will be available at the office of the Borough Clerk.
It's very dangerous what the three council members are doing, very dangerous.
So what's the, because the mayor was.
Please don't
highway?
speak like that, please, you'll get your time to talk. All right, let's go with this off consent agenda, however, there was an impromptu, resolution for it was a consent agenda, but we have to move to off consent agenda. Resolution 2025-332, authorizing the clerk to advertise for the municipal administrator in authorizing the clerk or advertise for a police director. We'll get back to that, but, off consent agenda, let's work with the first one.
Oh,
No,
I'd like
you
to
may
make
not.
a
No,
motion.
you may not, because right now, we're not even there yet.
No, I'd like to make a motion,
You're
two
not-
99 to move to off consent,
It's already off consent, it's already
No, it's
moved
not.
off consent.
299.
We're not in consent agenda, damn it. We're in off consent, stop coming out of order, please.
So, no.
You'll have your turn when it's consent agenda, okay? So please, follow me. It's not time yet. You'll have the right to do a motion, but we're on off consent. Let's focus on off consent.
Okay.
So, resolution, go ahead, resolution, the first off consent agenda.
Off consent agenda resolution 2025-332, authorizing the clerk to advertise for municipal administrator.
Okay, this comes together with 333. As you know, 294 and 295, we passed it in the work session, thanks to your understanding. We had to get that passed to get these extensions awarded. We have to get that passed to authorize the accounts so we could pay the people, for the vendor we could start the kiosk parking meters, which the people are waiting for a long time. So we appreciate that. Now we go back to 332 and 333. They're coming together because, council members, over the weekend, Council Won Yoon requested that she wants to create a consent agenda, off consent agenda, authorizing the clerk to advertise for municipal administrator, and authorizing the clerk to advertise for the police director. Before I ask you guys how you guys feel about this, I wanna ask Christine Won Yoon, who actually requested this motion. Would you like to explain to the rest of the governing body why you decided to do this?
Well, it was.
I'm sorry, I was talking to Christine Won Yoon. You'll get your chance, sir. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I did, or Councilman Min did.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Who
Fine, you
did?
guys do both. It doesn't matter.
My understanding is that when borough administrator, the contract is by the end of this year. So I think we need to, advertise borough administrator so that we can actually, go through the right process.
Is that right process?
Well, technically, the business administrator, our ordinances refer to the title as municipal administrator, is governed by New Jersey statutes. And New Jersey statutes allow the mayor to recommend and the council to appoint a business administrator for the term. Typically, it's the term of the mayor. Obviously, mayor and council at any point in time can, with a certain weighted vote, can move to dismiss the municipal administrator. But pursuant to the statute, if that were the case, the administrator would be entitled to certain benefits, the 3 months of pay, etc. So this is not typical. Usually when a business administrator is brought on by mayor and council, it's for the term, for the balance of the mayor's term. So if that's something that you wanted to discuss with the council, and the council wants to do that, that certainly is the council's prerogative, just not typical.
And how about the police director, Council Won Yoon?
But so is the police director, right? The contract, my understanding is that it'll end by the end of this year. So it's actually the same position. So once we approaching to, the end of their contract, I think it's a common sense to advertise whether that position will be filled by the same person or not.
So it's just gonna be the simple advertisement for both positions, whether we renew contract or new hire, just, it's just the advertisement. So accepting an application just to prepare for the later future.
Councilor Roth, how do you feel about this? Because we gotta learn.
Over here or?
No, you can just, you ever, doesn't matter, you're tall enough.
I really don't like to give legal advice in open session, but with that being said, the statutes are different, and we have in the ordinance, I don't have it in front of me, I didn't know there was a question, but the police director has an ordinance. I'm not sure if that the director, we'd have to follow ordinance. If the director has a term, then that's the term. If there is no term in the ordinance, then you go by the contract term. Do you have to advertise? No, there's no statutory requirement to do so. The business administrator is a completely separate issue. As Mr. Promo said, the term of the business administrator, unless it is set by agenda to terminate, which is, it could, but that's not how the statute works. The statute reads, they stay until, for the term of the mayor. If it's severed prior to that, service is severed prior to that the statute gives them 3 months pay. I do not remember if Ms. Stern's appointment was for a specific term, by resolution when we appointed
I
her.
don't think we had a specific term.
No. I don't
Then if that's the case,
This is from the date of hire, November 27th through December 31st of 2025.
that's is that the contract or is that the
Is that the
resolution
contract?
for
Well,
the
that's
hire?
what the
That's the contract.
resolution,
Okay.
I think the contract says the same
Same
thing.
thing.
So the contract, okay, so then that would be for the term.
Okay, so this is how I feel, I mean, because Council Won Yoon and Council, Min wanted to do this, I approved it. However, you guys have to understand that we have to go through an interview process with, actually, to sit down with the current, police director and also the BA to figure out what they accomplished, what they have accomplished with this year. We have to really evaluate on their accomplishments and what they're working on, right? That, we should have done that, I think, before you even announced that we are gonna consider looking for somebody else. Secondly, as we all agreed, that both positions expire on December 31st. You know what that means? That means no matter what, even though we do an interview process or assessment or evaluation of their work, which is a different story, we might have to rise them, right? We might have to, do we have to just rise them?
Well, if we get into performance-related issues, then yeah, those discussions need, the employees would by necessity need to be noticed.
And that should be prudent, because without that, why are we going to open this up? And secondly, as you guys all know, 2 of the council members are gonna expire, and next year there'll be 2 new council members, so we're gonna have to do this meeting again next year as well. It's not a full set yet. So that's why I asked Christine Won Yoon and Min why they decided to do this.
Just simple advertisement, just to accept the
Okay,
application.
that was the reason why I put it in here, Councilman, but you guys evidently are not really answering why beyond, oh, it's a simple advertisement. We just said this is not regular, not normal, especially when you know that both positions expire at the end of this year. It's gonna happen next year, no matter how you slice it. And we didn't provide them with interviews, we didn't do that yet, and you guys decided to go, let's put this in the open, which you didn't have to.
Which
So-
we're gonna do,
What do you mean? Do what?
those meetings that we have to review, which we're gonna do.
Right, you should have done that before, because at the end of the day, the majority of the votes, the people who are gonna vote is not here, it's next year. It's next year.
And I would just add one more thing, just as a matter of respect for the people that are working for the borough, we need to, be respectful to the people that are already in the position. These positions are not vacant, so for us to advertise for positions that are already filled by real people, I would think that's disrespectful.
I agree, Councilman, I agree, yes.
I also agree with Councilman Lee. The proper way is if we terminate anybody, even we before do that, we always should have some kind of job performance evaluation first. And then if that's continued, then the whoever doing the job, the performance review inform the mayor, and also mayor inform the rest of the other council, and then when mayor find out that it's not proper, then you shouldn't go on like that. The mayor is suggesting to have the council person that we are going to put advertisement, and then, due to the reason for that, then we can do, that's the right process of the doing it, rather than just, even though it's a simple advertisement, we should do step-by-step way by having the performance review first, and then based on that, if it's needed to have advertisement, we're gonna do that. But without having a evaluation, job performance evaluation, we just have advertisement that's, I believe, as Ms. Sang Lee said, is very respectful to anybody who works for the municipal government. And also, there's a chance to be lawsuit on that as well.
I mean, I'm really, I put this in, thank you, Councilman Kim. I put it in the request of the Councilman and Councilman New, but you guys have an opportunity to table this as well. You could allow this to pass this. It's a choice, right, of the council members, still, correct?
Yes.
So what would you like to do, council members? Should we read this off, or do you wanna table this until December or even January, after we go through the evaluations? I plan to have an executive meeting with these two positions as well as among others, so you guys will get an opportunity to sit down and evaluate what the progress were of this year. How do you guys wanna do this? Well, yeah, if you make a motion to go with this, we're gonna vote on it. If you make a motion to table this, we're gonna vote on that. I can't make a motion.
I'll make a motion to move forward.
Move forward? May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, let's do a vote on that.
Okay, resolution of consent agenda, resolution 2025-332, authorizing the cost of advertisement for municipal administrator.
Yeah, this is all consent. They did a motion, you have to vote.
But this is go forward, but this is
No, vote
consent
for
agenda.
to go on with the resolution. That's what they
There is
said.
a motion on the table.
Motion on the table to say,
Just a vote for the.
they say we
Pass
should,
the resolution.
we should,
Yeah.
not to pass resolution, to vote on this resolution, remember?
Okay,
Right.
so Council Kim?
Yeah, I think there is a due process that we should do the right way, so I have to say no for this particular one.
No.
Council Lee?
No.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Shin?
No.
Council Vitri?
I have a question. This is for resolution what?
332, sir.
That's just that one?
Yes.
No.
Then we have a majority.
Council Won Yun?
Yes.
Yeah, so,
We have a majority.
yeah.
Yeah, so
4-2.
they'll-
fails that reference.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not gonna vote.
All right, so this has not been passed. It's been rejected. 332, resolution did not pass. 4-2. Let's go with the next resolution. Similar case.
Of consent agenda resolution 2025-333, authorizing the clerk of advertise for police director.
Council members, it's the same situation right now. Council Lee made a very good point. We have employees working right now. And I really firmly believe we have to do this. So I ask you, is there a motion on the table to vote on this, 333?
Make a motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, let's do a roll call on if we're gonna allow this to be under off consent to vote.
Council Kim?
Same reason, we have to do the due process, we should have a performance evaluation first, so I say no. No
Council Lee?
access to the council.
Council Lee?
No.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Shin?
Saying this now, there should be some procedures to evaluate the performance of the police director in advance before we make advertisement for the new police director. So I said no.
Council Vitri?
Yes.
Council Won Yun?
Yes.
It's a
So
split vote.
now is a 3.
I'll say no. I don't want any future litigating issues at hand. So both are struck it out from our consent agenda. Thank you very much. Borough Clerk?
Consent agenda resolution 2025-296 through resolution 2025-331.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion for 299 to move to off consent agenda.
May I have a second?
Second.
Let's do a roll call on this, moving consent to off consent 299.
Council Kim?
No.
Council Lee?
No.
Council Min?
Yes.
Council Shin?
No.
Council Vitri?
Yes.
I'll say no. I'll break the tie.
I need a vote for one first.
I'll
One
say
year?
no.
Yes.
Okay, tie break, so as mayor has to be voted.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this a consent agenda. Anything else? Why don't you, announce the consent agenda, Sophia?
Yeah, consent agenda resolution 2025-296 through resolution 2025-331.
Council members, any other questions besides 299? Anybody else you wanna take out? Yes,
Can I raise a
Councilwoman?
question? Okay, 299. Okay,
You
this
can't-
is,
What's the big difference between talking about a consent agenda if you're not gonna be rejected to off consent?
Well, people can comment on it, and they
Yeah, I
can
know
vote,
that.
they can vote
I
their will
can
on
ask
it.
a question.
Typically, matters on the consent agenda are.
Just take the vote,
Yeah.
take the vote now.
Alan?
If you're going to talk about, if a council person is going to talk about something off the consent, as Ms. Stern was just saying, and she kind of faded off, consent agenda in and of itself is typical administrative resolutions that are to be passed in one vote. If there's going to be comment on consent, then it should be moved off consent, which should be done as a courtesy, what we call a friendly amendment. So if Councilman Newton wants to talk about something, it should just easily be taken off. There's not, it doesn't need to be a second vote. Take it off the consent, talk about it, then vote on the consent agenda, and then vote on that one that was removed. And then that would
Except
be
that it
it.
didn't pass.
I'm sorry?
It didn't pass.
What did it?
Take it off consent.
Go ahead, go ahead.
So there was a motion to move that resolution
From consent.
from consent to off consent, and the council.
be discussed.
voted
All right,
down.
all right, I was
My
outside.
Yeah,
point
yeah.
is, consent agenda is usually not.
So if it, so that's the will of the council. If it was voted to stay on consent, it stays on consent, there's no discussion, she then will, then she has to vote yea or nay on that particular resolution.
Thank you.
She can say yes or
Oh,
no
of
with
course.
explanation,
Well, yeah, of course, of course.
She can do that.
Why?
There's no debate, this meeting, I'm saying
Yeah,
there's no
this is
debate
consent
on the
agenda.
subject.
Any more, off, consent agenda that council members wanna move to the off consent agenda to discuss about it? Okay, if there's no more questions about off consent agenda, and that is the purpose of the consent agenda, Councilor Allen, correct?
Yes, sir.
For a vote for usually for yes or no, you could take out certain things. I'll say okay to consent agenda, everything except for, like she wants to do 299. She could do that, right?
Yes, sir.
But she cannot go, I'm gonna open this up, let's talk about that, because this is not.
She
off
can
consent.
comment, but she can't debate,
Well,
that's
she
why the
votes.
point. Right, on the vote.
Good,
Can I make a comment then?
please.
Okay, 299, this is about salary increase of 3.
Why is she talking, Counselor?
No, I'm trying to make my comment.
No, you're gonna vote, and you're
When-
gonna,
when you
when you
vote-
vote, you can make that comment. Right now, we're in a stage of motions. We're not off consent,
Okay,
okay? So please. So any more questions about consent agenda? That you want to move to the consent agenda? Okay, great. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much for the reminder. Council members, resolution 2025-329, I'm making a recommendation to be struck out because the authorization for raffle license for Palisades Park 40 Hills Club was not completed. So we're gonna take that out. Thank you.
332?
Yes, 329. 329 is struck out, not enough information was provided. So, if there's no more questions about the consent agenda, to be moved to the consent, to be discussed and debated or asked questions, may I have a motion to pass the consent agenda 2025-296 all the way down to 331, excluding resolution 2025-329, because they did not provide proper documentation. May I have a motion?
I'll make a
I
motion.
make a motion.
Okay, we got a first, thank you. We got a second. So it's very good. Roll call.
Council Kim?
Yes, except, everything is yes, except 331, I recuse. I have
331.
331.
Thank you. Can recuse. Thank you.
Council Lee?
I vote yes, except for 324,
324,
325,
325,
326.
326. Oh, thank you. But before, let me just stop right now. Counselor, you're supposed to explain to the people and to the council members, what is the significance of approving the settlement versus denying it and bringing this all the way to the court? Please explain.
Okay, so we met in an executive session last time, and we heard from our attorney regarding the specifics of these three appeals represented with the settlement agreements for resolution 2025-324, 325, and 326. What we've been presented with is obviously the payment of taxes going back many years, which could all be subject to 5% interest from, has it been 2008, I think was the
2008.
first year, so at the end of, if we were to proceed and not settle the case, there would be a trial. We would then be required to hire a appraiser or have an appraisal done for every single year, which would be very costly. And then on top of that, if at the end of the day, the assessment was changed in any way, any tax that would be due going back to 2008 would be hit with a 5% interest rate compounded over all those years. So in essence, the decision to settle is a balance of whether the current valuation in the settlement and the amount, the difference in the amount that would be collected under that new assessment, and weigh that in terms of the cost to the borough of having to go through a trial. And my understanding from the conversation with our attorney, without getting into any specifics, is that it was recommended. It was recommended for a number of reasons, including the merits of the underlying lawsuit questioning the valuation on these commercial properties. So, without getting into any more specifics, which would require another executive session to get into the details of the settlement, the recommendation from our outside tax counsel is that these be approved.
In other words, in a nutshell, it will cost more time and money to go into the end. Now, what the council members would like to know is that the evaluations, are you sure they're correct? Are you sure the evaluation set forth is correct?
The executive session that we had last week was not only with the tax appeal attorney representing us, but also the tax assessor for Palisades Park, who did confirm that the amounts that are being settled for are reasonable and within the realm of acceptable valuations for these properties.
So in other words, Counselor, if we go through this, if we, you know, it's the rights of the governing body, obviously, but if we don't pass this, we're gonna end up in court paying more legal fees. But you're saying at the end of the day in the court procedure, the judge is gonna award not 5%, since 2008, and all the charges for the legals and representation we have to pay. Now, I was there with the counselor and the special attorneys, and we negotiated a very, can we talk about that?
Well, I don't wanna get into the details of it, just the
But-
generalities that.
Generally,
We've
we got a
been-
real good deal. Why can't we tell them about what the deal was?
Well, do you wanna go into executive session to talk about these? I'd be more comfortable, I don't know exactly what
Okay.
you're gonna say, so.
Well, that's what we, you know, we made a deal with the attorney who was
Hold on a
representing.
minute, hold on, whisper in my ear. Oh, yeah, that's not that, okay, that's
Say it,
not.
say it,
yeah.
say it, say it.
Yeah, that's, part of the settlement involves a lower interest rate, a substantially lower interest rate that wouldn't start until the actual settlement agreement is signed. So the 5% interest dating back to 2008 would be converted to what I understand is like a 3%
3% we
interest,
negotiated it.
starting with the date we sign a settlement agreement, so it's a substantial
And not going all the way to
savings
two
right there.
thousand eight, it'll be 3%, not 5%. Secondly, we made a deal with the representing attorney to say, we won't be paying you a lump sum, we'll pay you 50%, we'll pay you
25, 50, 25.
25, 50, and 25, so we could divvy up the cost so it doesn't hurt our budget too much.
Correct.
That is a great deal, ladies and gentlemen. Such a good deal. We're gonna drop that. If you guys decide to do that, we're gonna drop everything and we'll go to court, and the professional saying it's not advisable. You're gonna lose. It'll pay more money. Legal fees, 5% 2008. That's why I want you guys to know before you make that decision. Sorry to interrupt, Council Lee. Now, could you please do another, could you just do it again? If you really want to do it again, I forgot the council should have let everybody know. So, could you call us Hanging Lee first again about her consent agenda?
Okay, consent agenda, resolution 2025-296 through resolution 2025-331.
Excluding 329.
2025-329.
Good. Council Lee.
Council Lee?
So the reason I'm voting no is that I do not feel that the valuation do not comport with the market rates. And I do feel that I need to take more time to get comfortable that the valuations are on par with market rates. And the concern that I have is that once this is settled, this is going to set precedent for potentially other, unhappy property owners. So I wanna be careful on what we settle on with these property owners, although it goes back years, from now, but that is the concern that I have, and unless we are open to take this out and table it, I'm voting no.
Can we table this, Counselor, or is it a time of the essence?
I believe, and I don't know the answer to that, because I'm not involved in these lawsuits. I do know that the tax appeal attorney is asking for it to be approved now, so he can get back to the judge and they can put these through. I don't know what the effect will be if we don't pass it and we kick the can down the road another month. If
But
the
this has
judge-
been open for years, right?
What's that?
It's been open for years.
Yeah, but what
That's the
happens is
problem.
when
I'm-
cases are this old and the judge is sort of taking these cases under his wing and trying to get them through, if the attorneys report back that it was on the council agenda and the council decided to push it to November's meeting or anything but approve the settlements, the judge has the jurisdiction and the ability to say, off the table, we're gonna try these things, be here tomorrow. That's not gonna happen because obviously you need experts, but you understand what I'm saying. The judge has the ability, if we don't pass the settlements tonight, we could be under an order to start trial in a reasonable time. That's a possibility.
Okay. Can I make a motion to go into executive session? I just wanna raise what my concern is.
Absolutely respectable. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? No, we have to do all, that's it. All in favor? Let's go, guys, executive. Sorry, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back. This is very important. Yes, that'll be good. We need